because it's a challenge. Marvellous.
Absolutely disgusting. What's right with it?
I do know what I'm not talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Wales's answer to David Dickinson, the man who has more talent in his little finger than in any other part of his body. He's coming onto your screen now, not in the way you're thinking. Please welcome your very own Mr. Terry Squirrel!
Yes, very Welsh, thank you, very Welsh. Good evening. Welcome to the... Thank you very much. Welcome to the show. Had the builders in last few weeks. Irish firm, run by a woman, actually, patio doors. Builders arrive, dirt, filth everywhere. They wouldn't start till we'd cleaned the place up, you know. Well, of course, the first thing they do is turn the radio on really loud, and I asked one of them, I said, why do you have the radio up so loud? Why do you have the radio up so loud? And he said, so passers-by won't be annoyed by the sound of the pneumatic drill. Very considerate, very good. No, they're nice blokes, nice blokes. One of them spent most of the afternoon taking out the old boiler, which was very decent of him, because my wife's mother doesn't get out much, you know. I said... Yeah. Anyway, today they finished the job today, and £3,000 more than they said it would be, and 6 weeks longer than they said it would take. But I must admit, the new tap washer fits perfectly. Yeah, let's face it, they were cowboys. I suppose the spurs and the 10-gallon hats should have given away, but I just didn't think. And talking of not thinking, let's go over now to Hugh Pugh in Fishguard. Hugh, what are you doing? Hugh? What are you doing? Hugh, what?
Watering my chlorophytum comosum variegatum.
You what?
Spider plant, bumface.
Didn't know you had green fingers?
Yeah, well, better than brown fingers, eh?
Let's have the special report, shall we?
If you're a midwife looking for an opening, then you could do a lot worse than getting a job here, at the new maternity ward at St. Sardine's Hospital, Fishguard, which is officially opened today by Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, who looks more like a man every day. I asked some of the mothers how it all went. Sorry about that. The cameraman's blind. Right, do we? Yeah? Right, OK. You just had your first baby. Do you think you'll be a lovely mother or a horrible mother?
A lovely mother.
Well, that remains to be seen, doesn't it? When he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning asking for his breakfast. No, look, you'll have to speak up. I can't hear you with that sodding baby crying. Look, all right, let's start again. Right. So, what was Camilla like with all the babies, then?
Oh, come on.
Hang on, this isn't working. My bloody hand now. Right, let's start again. OK. Did Prince Charles talk to you at all?
Yeah, he asked us my husband at the birth, and I said yes.
Was your husband there at the conception?
No.
All right. Do you think it's right to have sex before getting pregnant?
Yes, it was lovely.
Infomaniac. And is it true that Prince Charles slipped in some sick on the floor and Camilla Parker Bowles had to pick him up?
No, she didn't pick him up. She just said a few words to him.
I can imagine what they were. And you met Prince Charles as well? Did he have sick on his trousers?
Yeah.
He hadn't cleaned any of it off?
No, none at all.
Disgusting. And I heard that Camilla Parker Bowles was trying to grab the doctor's private parts.
No, she didn't hold anything.
Oh, just talked to the mothers then, did she? What did she talk about?
Well, more about the baby, you know, very interested in children she was.
sleeve full of shite now. And a broken hand. Oh, let's leave it there. I've had enough. This is Hugh Pugh, covered in poo in Fishguard. Good night.
The Animal Rescue Squad is an organisation dedicated to caring for animals in distress. It receives no official funding or encouragement. The ARS is staffed by volunteers Dave Daly and Dave Sinclair, assisted by Dave Webster. Reporter Pete Barkey follows the everyday trials and tribulations of the Animal Rescue Squad. It's a Tuesday morning at the ARS Trauma Centre, and we find Dave Daly and Dave Sinclair holding a counselling clinic for pets with problems.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute.
Don't tell me I don't know anything about f***ing canaries, you silly f***ing cow! Right, Mr. and Mrs. Wayland.
Well, so well then.
Yeah, whatever. What is it?
Well, our dog Peppy's got a problem.
Yeah, hello there, Pippi. Oh, so what's the matter with you?
Well,
then,
he,
No, it's the dog I'm talking to, not you. Come on, Pippi. Let's go in and you can tell me all about it. Come on. Where do you think you're going? Hey? What goes on in the consulting room is between me and the patient. Come on.
Yeah, Dave will soon find out what's the matter with him. So what's the matter with him?
Pip sleeps on our bed.
Or you sleep on Pip's bed. That's another way of looking at it.
Well, I try and get into bed, and he growls at me and he won't let me get into bed.
Right. How long's this been going on?
Oh, 2 years?
Oh, so that's 2 years you haven't shagged your wife. It's truth.
Do you think the psychiatrist will be able to help?
Oh, you mean Dave? Oh, yeah. He'll sort it out. No worries.
What do you think's the matter with him, then?
He's always like... Oh, you mean Pip? Oh, it's probably nothing serious. A couple of pills should sort it out. Unless, of course, it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
It's Munchausen syndrome by proxy. It's going to take at least 6 months, maybe 10 years of psychotherapy. In the meantime, I recommend that he sleeps in the kitchen.
Pip won't like that.
Tip? Oh, it's your husband I'm talking about.
Piano man! Lovely instrument. I don't understand it. Bloke got a lovely tune out of it this morning. Must be broken. On it. Ah, yes. Well, you know, a friend of mine gave birth the other day. Textbook delivery. She'd have preferred a baby, but, you know, introduction to the Middle Ages is very interesting, and it doesn't keep her awake at night. Moving on.
It's a Tuesday morning, 6 months later. Dave Daly is making little progress in his psychoanalysis of Pip the dog.
OK, so you don't want to talk about your father. Let's try a simple word association test. Woof. Grr. Howl.
How's it going, mate?
I've tried everything, I'm just not getting through to him.
Try to see it from his point of view. I mean,
What
if
did you just say?
Well, try to see it from his point of view.
That's it, that is it. If I'm going to get anywhere with Pip, I've got to start seeing the world from a dog's point of view. Starting right now. Well, what did you expect? You haven't taken me for a walk today, have you? Good boy. Come on. Come on. That's it. Release. Release. Good boy. Good boy. Do you want to do it again? Okay, here we go. Fitch. Good boy. Good boy. Bring it back to me. Bring it back to me. That's right. Bring it back. That's a boy. That's a boy. Good boy. Give it to me now. Release it. Release it. Release it. Yeah, nice little monkey. Here we go. You want him again? And fetch it. Don't you ever f***ing do that again to me, you... Have you got a licence for me? Get him. Mr. and Mrs. Whalen.
Yes?
I've completed Pip's psychoanalysis and I've come to the conclusion there's nothing wrong with him. It's you.
Right, let's have a commercial break.
Coracle crazy? You need Challenge magazine for people who are crazy about coracles. Challenge magazine. It's the one top paddlers read.
Mainly because it's a challenge. First of all, it's a challenge for me. Secondly, it's a challenge for the Coracle. And again, it's a personal challenge for me.
Challenge magazine. Find out how coracles get wet.
It's easily to understand.
Why coracles are more popular than cars.
Yes.
And what's Gerard Pillock's greatest challenge?
Myself.
There's fashion. Health. And sex from Coracle groupie Nipples Thomas, who reveals the truth about water sports in a monthly column, Up My Creek Without a Paddle. Read what top judge Herbert Dipp says about the Coracle of the Year show.
I do know what I'm talking about.
And discover the secret ingredient that makes Gobbitt's Coracle Wax the choice of champions.
It's a challenge for me.
Yes, it's a challenge for everyone. Challenge magazine tells you all you need to know about coracles and the men who paddle them.
It's a challenge.
Out now. Free Wellington boot with every copy.
Welcome back. Oh, look at this story here. Someone's had an accident using a mobile phone while driving. You know, it's really dangerous to do that. Only the other day I saw a lorry driver chatting away, one hand on the wheel. I thought, right, I'm going to report him because that could cause an accident. And it did. While I was writing his number down, I crashed into the back. Moving on.
So, I know what I'm talking about. Well, I should do. I just spent 6 months as a dog.
Oh, what breed were you?
Matter of fact, I was an Alsatian. Bluey. 3 years old with a black patch on my muzzle. Yeah, I lived on a farm and the farmer really liked me because I kept the foxes away. They were really good to me. Every Christmas they buy me a new collar. Really nice one with studs on it. And then one terrible night the farmhouse caught fire and they'd all have died, but I smelt the smoke and I started backing and yeah. Got a mention in the local paper for that. Then I went down to the local junior school and all the kids patted me and said what a good dog I was, and it was really Bonza that... Well, what's the matter? You never seen a 3-year-old Alsatian before? Anyway, the thing I discovered about dogs is that they really like 2 things, food and sex.
Just like Dave Webster, apart from the sex.
Yeah, so Pip here, he regards your wife as a sex object. In fact, if I was a dog, I'd fancy her. In fact, when I was a dog, every time I licked another dog's ass, I could see your wife's face.
And what do you suggest, then?
Well, you see, Pip, he regards your wife as his girlfriend, so naturally he's not too pleased to see you in the bedroom. So what we've got to do is distract him while you give your wife a good seeing to. Oh, look at that tasty little Pekingese, eh? The way she's licking that big black Labrador, eh? Oh, come on, mate, haven't you finished yet?
So, what was the best thing about being a dog, mate?
Being able to lick my own bollocks. Squeaky toy?
Not what I'm driving, thanks. Hello. We are interrupting this program, if you can call it that, to bring news of an accident at the Welsh cheese plant in Fishguard, which has resulted in the release of toxic cheese fumes into the surrounding area. Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat, who sits on the cheese board, said the incident happened when a tank of cottage cheese, made exclusively for homosexuals in Cardiff, was accidentally contaminated with cheesy helmets. Mr. Twat, who's also chairman of the disaster committee, said that the cheese fumes are not dangerous, but advised people to start panicking anyway, just as a precaution. Most of Fishguard is now totally cheesed off. Good night. Hello. We've got a yellow line on the road outside the old people's home. It's not a parking restriction. It's where matron ran over a canary. My bloody canary, man. I've always had pets, see. When I was a boy, I had a tortoise called Michelle. And every winter, when it was time for Michelle to hibernate, my mother would put her in a box. Odd place to put a tortoise in. But at least it was nice and warm for the... And she'd get coconuts for the tits. A bra would have been more comfortable for her. We were poor, you see. And the dog, well-trained little dog he was. Sit, he would sit. Fetch, he would fetch. Come, well, I had to get rid of him. But I was a happy little boy, see. My parents loved me. I know there was a lot of drinking and violence and sexual depravity, and they tried to make me stop, but I liked it. We really were very poor, though. If it got cold, I'd put on a Swansea foot warmer. Do you know what that is? Swansea foot warmer? Turd in a sock. But poor as we were, the whole family loved animals. As my old dad used to say to us, a dog is not just for Christmas. You could have it cold on Boxing Day as well. Good night. I'm telling you now. There we are. It started you. Oh dear, I've arrived. Hello. Fishguard police are investigating the deaths of more than 300 turkeys. A police spokesman said that it was a puzzling case because the turkeys were all in excellent health, except they were dead. He added that they were treating the incident seriously, unlike some incidents which they had a good laugh at. Popular nursery rhyme character Humpty Dumpty returned to work today after falling off a wall at the weekend during a heavy drinking session. A remorseful Mr. Dumpty said, "I had too much to drink and I got smashed. Won't happen again." Fishguard shopkeeper Tom Foolery has been found guilty of selling aftershave that's past its smell-by date. The breach of trading standards was spotted by Mayor of Fishguard, Mr. Kenny Twat's wife, Mrs. Twat, who became suspicious when her husband began to smell as if he'd shat himself all the time, instead of just occasionally. Fishguard police are looking for a one-legged man who robbed a bank, then made off on foot. Constable Tim Thomas advised people not to approach the man. He may have only one leg, but he is armed, he said. Fishguard was celebrated today on the anniversary of a local man who changed the world, yet whose name means nothing to most people and something to no people at all. Yet without him, motorists would have nowhere to park on a double yellow line, and drunks would have nowhere to be sick on a Saturday night. Yes, he's the man who invented the street, Edward Street, honoured in Fishguard by having Fishguard Street, Edward Street, named after him. And Fishguard made sure it was a day to remember, with street parties, street theatre, and of course the ever-popular street fight. Nice day out, all thanks to Edward Street. And tonight in bed, the people of Fishguard will be remembering their other famous son, John Thomas.
Well, I went to see Lord of the Rings the other day. Don't know if you've seen it, but it's basically a fantasy about a midget whose ring has magic powers. And it suddenly occurred to me that there actually is a real midget with magic powers called Paul Daniels. I don't know if he does things with his ring or not. That's a question for Debbie McGee, really. But it did make me think about having a little bit of magic on this show. And I thought, yeah, why not? So I'm going to sign off this evening by making myself disappear, just like this. Ah, there we are. What do you think of that? Oh.